always kept a stable home. Her lips eclipse my crazy bone. Conflicts with Patron, twist the homegrown. Cyclone, photon, bomb type songs. Back to my Ina, back to my own. Back to reality, we hold the captain's throne. Triple crown, dawn, state of mind forever strong. We grown all alone, 808 type zone. Jones in my bones, taking it back home. SonDaOne, poison poems, point blank to the dome. Like Sylvester Stallone, explode 45 chrome, get your head blown. Different from the others, everywhere we roam. Learn that, respect that, get that known. As the world turns, the spliff burns, I stand firm, born accountable. This battlefield be Sun Tzu. From Hawaii to Cali and back again. Yeah, back again. From Hawaii to Cali and back again. Yeah, back again. From Hawaii to Cali and back again. Yeah, back again.
What's up, y'all? This is Nytelife of 4BarLoop, and I'm here with my guest today. He is a hip-hop recording artist out of Hawaii, a recording machine. This dude is constantly working, man. Coming off his self-titled LP, SonDaOne. What's up, man? How you doing this evening?
What's good? Thank you for having me, brother. Doing well. Yeah, we're doing well. Doing well, chilling.
Yeah,
watching
man.
the game.
See you moving and shaking out there. You watching? You trying to check out the Warriors?
Yeah, man. Draymond's out today, so they're kind of having a rough time. They're playing Miami right now, but they're doing all well. Like their bench needs to step up. Definitely. You know?
Yeah, I was checking them out, but before I got on here, and yeah, they look like a different team, man. When Draymond's not running that defense, it's crazy. You know, Curry got to do a whole bunch, and it looked like Curry's not going to try to run Curry in the ground today. Curry's probably going to be sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to play a lot.
Hopefully,
limiting his minutes.
Hopefully, we can at least get a playoff spot this year.
I'm not mad if we don't, man. I mean, you know, the next year is the year that we come back. So
they got potential. They got potential.
Yeah. So they building that bench up right now, man. So they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. So it's good to speak to you again, man. After speaking to you a little bit a couple weeks ago, talked about a few things or whatnot. Get some things bubbling a little bit later on. Hopefully, get some songs together and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I know our time difference is crazy, man. So I don't want to hold you all the whole time tonight or whatnot, man. But we'll go ahead and get into it. As far as your music is concerned in general, how did you get started?
With music in general was basically I was into literature. I was into poetry, writing poetry and reading poetry. My mom had us reading like Edgar Allan Poe. We were kids. Of course, growing up in a religious family, we were reading the Bible and whatnot. So I used to write these little short stories. To make a long story short, through the influence of poetry, as well as the little short stories that morphed into writing lyrics. Once I got introduced to hearing hip hop, I thought I would try to write my own lyrics as a kid in elementary school, and came from there. I came from a musical background too as well. My father was a funk drummer, and he was one of the #1 funk drummers in the state of Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
My grandfather was a jazz musician as well as a martial artist. My mother just constantly had records going on in the background. Growing up in the Bay Area, Marshall, my mom had music flowing through our house constantly. So I grew up on that good soul music and anything from Motown to funk and whatnot. So that was my introduction to loving music and just the arts in general.
Yeah, so you mentioned the Bay Area. What part of the Bay Area were you out of?
We were all over. We moved a lot. So anywhere from San Leandro to Union City to Hayward to Cashta Valley. My mom grew up in Daly City and Saramani. My grandmother and grandfather, God bless their soul, they came from Kauai. They ended up retiring in the Bay Area of San Francisco. So my roots are in two places, the islands as well as in California.
Yeah, we're just trying to check and see, man, because we might have crossed paths. Because I grew up in Oakland, so.
Okay, yeah. definitely. I got a lot of family and friends, actually, that are moving away from there because, as you know, it's changing with the gentrification.
Hmm.
And a lot of my friends, unfortunately, are leaving those areas, selling their houses, and it is changed. Definitely, it's definitely changed. With the
Any of them guys trying to come out your way?
And a lot of my family wants to move out back out here. So along with myself, I just needed something that was a little more low key, as well as slower pace, just to kind of build myself back up, ground myself out. I just thought it would be a good place to raise my daughter, especially with I'm even more grateful now, because I didn't even know about the virus. None of us did. So
Hmm.
and once this started popping off, I was like, man, thank God I'm over here, as well as just with all the social stuff going on with people
Right.
ramping and stuff. Though I just wanted to be in a place of peace and serenity, for my daughter and my family. Don't get me wrong, I love the city though still. I do.
Yeah. So it's so much going on, and the times are definitely changing. And you got to look out for your best interests of what's going to be best for your family, and that's not never a bad move. No matter how much you love a city or town or whatnot, because
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just gotta protect these kids and protect your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what's the story behind your name? How did you get your name?
My name is it. There's a lot of stories behind it. Um, my buddy Blacks, who I was a part of a group called the Highlanders back in the day, he gave me the name. It was my tag name. I used to do graffiti and stuff though, so I did SonDaOne.
Nice.
Um, my boy actually gave me that name because he always told me that like I was like one in a million type of dude. Um, I believe that one person can change the world through the capacity of the energy, and I'm a firm believer in that. And I think everybody's one in a million if they let it be. You know what I mean? So it's more of a consciousness is behind that name. So, but Son the One is forever shining and just being unique, being one in a million.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
Man, you are just I thought that I was a walking thesaurus, but you are just absolutely amazing with how you put together words and connect them, and they still have coherence. Some people just say words and link words together just for the sake of them sounding the same, but there's a lot of context to what you spit, which is what kind of caught me because I listened to Hawaii to Cali, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I see now, I understand.
appreciate it.
Who's some of your influences that kind of got you into that, and that kind of got you into that pocket?
Well, I studied a lot of beatnik poets, which kind of like had an unorthodox type of style, and I fell in love with like a poet called Sal Williams, and he's an amazing spoken word poet. And dudes that just really blew my mind back in the early '90s would be somebody like a Big Pun or Big L, Cannabis. Blew my brains to bits. I always really enjoyed lyricism. Um, and just people that were prolific with their words. Of course, coming from the Bay Area, Pac was a big influence on the power
Definitely.
of what he was saying, the dynamic behind what he was saying. I just really enjoy lyricism, because I've always liked writing, and I've always wanted to. I cherished just when I'm crafting my bars or whatnot. I always wanted to do something that nobody else did, and I still to this day I just try to challenge myself, and of course nothing's new under the sun, but you can make it your own if you want to. I wish I could just go and be like everybody else, just follow the same thing, but I just can't go out like that. I really pride myself on being and a unique artist. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy everybody. But I I really cherish the ones that that put a little effort behind what they're saying. You know, and I'm just
Yeah,
a wordsmith. I love words. You know,
yeah, and
and me,
that definitely comes across, man. Because like I said, I listen, and it's just you know, you find really weird angles to come at things and connect things. And I think it goes back to a time where we listened to the lyrics before we listened to the beat. And
right,
it's this is a beat centered culture now where it's just like, man, if that
right.
bass line ain't hitting for you, then I got no time for you. But back when when that was the era, like I have to hear what they're saying, and you definitely command that attention when you start rhyming.
Yeah,
So as
I
far,
work. Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
sorry, go ahead.
I really work hard at it. I appreciate that. Thank you for noticing that.
Man, it shows. It shows. That's not. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. You work really, really hard, and I can tell that there's a ample amount of time that got put in. How long have you been? How long have you been rhyming?
I really rhyming probably at the age of 15, 16, 15, 16, where when I really just really put all my effort behind it. I didn't really start recording until I was in my 20s, though. But before that, what really seasoned me was I was in a band, and before any kind of record or going into the studio, we played live shows. And before even recording any kind of like music, we had original 2 hours of original music to a live band, and just being on the stage was a true teacher of being a artist, and learning how to have mic control, listening to the monitors, not amping out so much where you're losing your breath and stuff.
Yep.
Though little things, don't get drunk on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like
Yeah.
that, you know.
You got one time to learn that lesson, man. Because
Absolutely.
you go up there and you load it. It's like,
Right.
your breath control
Absolutely.
is out the window.
Right.
Your
You're
stage
getting
presence
lyrics.
is jacked up. Your lyrics is all fumbled.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not
comparing
good.
yourself. Absolutely. But from a young age, man, I just had one of those friends. We were all hip hop heads, and being in Hawaii, we all came from different demographics, places in the world. So I had a lot of friends that were from like California to New York. So we all were hip hop heads. So we gravitated to each other, and it was just like having your crew around, and just being in that circle and being like, how would you spit off this? And that's how we kind of just evolved. And
Right.
friends critiquing, nah, that was whack, and and then it just slowly evolves to writing your own. And it was just really fun. It was really fun back then. Be honest with you, to make me motivated, I had to really kind of home into those times and remember why I'm doing this for, because it's fun to me. It's like
Yeah.
you got to have that kind of that joy in your heart when you're doing the music or whatever art you're into. So it's just, as long as you're having fun, that's what it all matters. It makes you happy. I don't care how much money is involved or whatnot. This is why we do this, is because it brings us joy,
Right.
and I'm a firm believer in it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I a lot of times when people come in and they're cultured in different they're cultured in different things as far as hip hop is concerned. Like you said that you did graffiti and tagging. And when people have more of that balance, and I think that there's more of a love for hip hop overall than I just wanted to rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Um,
right.
you being where you are, one of the most beautiful places on earth. I've been out there a couple of times. I've been out to Kauai, been out to Maui.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So went out there, of course for fun, and it was it was honeymoons for both. But what's the hip hop landscape out there like?
It's deep. It goes way back. It goes way back from the electric boogaloo times, as far as the breakdancing, and I was going to mention before, even the graffiti was breakdancing.
Mm.
So as far as my understanding, I'm pretty sure that Electric Boogaloo partial of it was filmed in Honolulu. So
Nice.
there was a big dance culture out here, and just for the love of music in general, Polynesians, Pacific Islanders are very very in tune with music and what's going on around out there, because it's they're musical people. And
Right.
so there was that old school b-boy cruise that was popping up in the early 80s, and then there's DJs, and then this the same kind of like mode and format across the nation. We just caught on a little later, and we're still trying to play catch up too as well.
Hmm.
So it came from the breakdancing to the DJs, and eventually there's crews that started popping up in the early 90s, as well as through the later 80s. Kumanakas and Connect Four. You got artists like Creed Chameleon, Osho Pierce, and they all branched off and started making a name for Hawaii. And but we're still trying to push our brand out there as far as the state of Hawaii. There's not a lot of I don't think there's any hip hop artist that has made it really mainstream. We haven't had a mainstream hip hop artist come out of the state of Hawaii yet. So we're still freshly new, and we got a lot to show. We have a lot to say, because there's MCs all over there. There's there's eight islands.
Hmm.
And there's the MCs scattered out through all of the 8 islands. And during this COVID situation, a lot of artists are trying to put out albums and stuff. So we're making a lot of noise right now. We are, and there's a lot of talent.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that, considering that you were coming up in Kauai and whatnot, so I know it's pretty small. So were you like one of the ones to kind of bring this version of hip hop to Kauai, so where it would catch on? How is it trying to get people to? How did you get people to kind of fall into this brand of hip hop?
Well, the funny thing about it is, when we first launched our group called the Highlanders, which was a 4 MC group with live instruments. So with the live instrument aspect, we were able to get people that didn't even listen to hip hop to come mess with our music.
Smart.
Because we had it was like Rage Against the Machine meets Sly and the Family Stone meets Parliament. It had the rock aspect and reggae aspect. So we didn't just stay in one genre. So even with all those conscious and unorthodox lyrics, musically, it was easy to digest for the people. And that's how we kind of broke in. And only now is I'm really getting to explore with what I really wanted to do. I was a part of a collective back then, so I didn't really have the creative control that I wanted to have, and
Right.
just ideas that I wanted to do. So only now I'm able to kind of just explore and kind of just represent me, who I am as an MC. So
Yeah.
For your question, I think it was the whole live band aspect, it was a very for the ear edible for a lot of people that didn't even listen to hip hop. It's similar to the Roots.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of where I think that I was mentally going with that, because when you have a band, it gives you the unique opportunity to be able to do something completely different and touch different audiences. So if you go into a situation, you can always audible, like, okay, maybe this ain't the
Right.
this may not be the crowd for for the rock is hip hop. Okay, we might have to switch it up and do the band thing. We might have to play we might have to do some jazz. We might have to do some rock. We might have to do, it gives you such a variation to be able to change up and do different things.
Yeah, it was definitely it was definitely a trial by error type of thing where it constantly evolved and we got to read the crowds. So we're able to, exactly what you said, break it up, do like a jazz segment into, a cover, King of Rock, Run DMC, which has some rock and roll aspect.
Right.
We didn't do too much covers, but King of Rock was one of them. So we just really kept it eclectic and different, and we would have other type of music opening up for us, whether it was reggae to punk rock. We were open arms to whoever wanted to be creative and was doing some sort of artistry for the island, because there is a demographic out here for everything, but certain islands are smaller than others. I come from a real small island, and then Honolulu's right next to me, which has 1 million people just in the city alone, not in the entire island. So there's a big demographic. You want to do a little more deeper hip hop shows, you got to do it in Honolulu.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that's concerned, you touched on kind of going solo and doing that. Now, was it a tough adjustment for you to go into a situation where you was part of a group where you were, providing, I'm not gonna say limited, limited content, to being responsible for, man, I gotta give 3/16 and a hook, and I gotta do all of this. I gotta do all this work. What type of adjustment was that for you when you first went solo?
I embraced it with all arms. I had enough experience and went on tour and got to learn from the OGs who I was a part of. I was just happy at that time. I was a kid. I was appreciative just to be a part of something like that. And I really learned a lot. And from, like I said, just being on stage, seeing what it took in order to book a show, and just to have cadence with all aspects of what you do, whether you're in the booth to doing business, I really adjusted to it well. I just sat back and just learned, soaked up the game, and was able to that's why once I was on my own, I was able to just do my own show. I knew what it took. Okay, I got to do this day some flyers. It's like I just got to get some flyers, I got to spread the word, got to get a sound system, all that kind of stuff. So I knew what it took to do what we had to do. Once I broke off on my own, and I'm still learning. Especially with this digital media these days. So it's just learning right now. Still.
Yeah, it's a constant adjustment, man. You wake up in the morning, there's something different. There's a different platform. There's different this, different that. You gotta learn, and COVID doesn't make it that much easier in this climate. What adjustments have you had to make in order to still be able to stay in touch with fans and still be able to grow a viewership, grow people buying your projects and whatnot? What adjustments you have to make?
What adjustments is basically keeping in contact with just basically the same thing. I actually took it as a blessing. I don't look at it as it's hindering everything. It actually, to me, I feel like it evened out the playing field. And I really took advantage, because I feel like I'm playing catch up with my musical career. And I actually take it as a blessing. I took advantage of the COVID thing in order to get all my ducks in a row, in order to launch my albums and finally get all my material cleared and whatnot, and just trying to get a game plan going. So I already kind of had that type of mentality being in Hawaii in general. And then as well as when I lived in California, I lived out in the mountains in Humboldt. So due to what kind of took a lot of my musical career away is I grew medical marijuana for like the last 10 years. And I worked 24/7 for many years. So I put my musical or my artistic desires to the back burner to growing medical marijuana. And one day I was just like not really happy. I wanted to do more stuff that really made me happy, which is music. That's always been my love.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man, is like when you kind of pick a 9 to 5 over what you love to do, there's just no substituting for that. Just the feeling you get when you write a song, the feeling when you get when you lay down and record something that is part of you that you sharing with somebody. It's just different, man. And when you make that decision to punch a clock and be like, all right, well, I got to focus on this. It just, I don't know, man. I feel like sometimes a piece of me is missing when I'm at work, because I was like, I want to be able to pick up my pen and go to work, but you can't really do that. So it's definitely, I could see how that was hard for me, and it's probably was real hard for you to be able to kind of walk away from that money too that was there.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And then that whole industry's changed due to legalization. So it changed a lot of things from the time when I first started 10 years ago. And you nailed it on the head. Like during this COVID times, a lot of my friends are going back to work. And I have conversations with friends that are like, they're at work right now, and they're like, you know what, man? Because they've been off for so long. They're like, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore. They're working at, a hotel, for instance, and they've been working there for like 10, 15 years. And they're back at work and like, you know what, this sucks. Like, I was like,
exactly.
I don't really want to do this anymore. It's because they had that time to really like tap into themselves. And really just, I think that's important that we, as individuals, to push towards the things that truly make us happy. Regardless.
Yeah, man, being a creator is like, that's the hardest thing about being a creator, because it's just like, man, it's all of those things. Inspiration comes at any time. It's not on a clock. It's not, I'm gonna wake up at 8 p.m. and then I'm gonna sit down at 8 p.m. and then all of these thoughts are gonna come rushing to my head. They come at any time. So,
that's a part of just growing up artistically. Is that somebody very, very wise told me that I look up to, as far as an artist standpoint, is you do this for you, nobody else. Before anything else. And because I was complaining about, man, I should be further in my career than I should. And he's like, stop thinking like this. You're everywhere where you need to be. And you do this for yourself and nobody else. This is because it makes you happy. If you could just touch one person in the room, that's all that matters. If you could help uplift one person out of a room of 100 people, that's all that matters. Once you grasp that whole concept, I feel like you could grow and mature artistically as an individual, and that's a gem that I've taken with me, and I always keep with me.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So we're gonna get into some of your music. We're gonna get into Garden Island Riders, and then we'll talk about that when we get back on 4BarLoop. This is SonDaOne, Garden Island Riders.
All right.
1, 2. Yeah. No matter where I've been or where I stay, the Bay or LA, I never forgot the island I came. Kauai make me proud, stand strong, we forever untamed. Independent, top of the chain, our island could never be conquered, abused but never broken. Understand the ancient sacred land, which beauty holds 1,000 emotions where Kamehameha's final resting place still remains a mystery. Feel history, observe how the mana grows infinitely. Relentless spirit of our ancestors, perseverance running fuel through these here veins. This is that new school spit, I'm tired of seeing my people dying, hurting and pain. Compose scriptures that embodies the wrath of mad and Bailey, erupting to each page, each phrase. Waking wisdom strike like double-edged blade vision, severing the mindset of a modern-day slave. This ain't living, but fit not these days. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters. blind towards your hate. We shine cause we great. Take a stroll through an old immigrant soul, making below minimum wage. 96 degrees, thirsting for shade. 360 degrees of understanding self. The only thing constant is change. Therefore I train mentally, similar to BJ Penn, anticipating defeat and decay. Somehow my people still pen up with rage, but still mine that grows within the community every day. You know what they say, if you learn to surf Kalia, you can't charge anyway. Because of that, I'm prepared for whatever obstacle comes in my way. What other island had their people risking their life to keep the super ferry away? Calm man, lead us astray. It's all political, fuck what they say, Miss Lingle. You ain't heard, we've been fighting birds. And I ain't talking nay-nay, I'm talking about to pay mortgages. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. But now we ain't fake, my style you can never break. I'm blind towards your hate, we shine cause we great. Got it now, we ain't fake, my style you can never break. I'm blind towards your hate, we shine cause we great. Welcome to my home, the place where champions are made. Hunter, amongst the tightest today, fix up a plate. No need to get all Hollywood, with real people with real talk. Not crack rocks, blocks, and switchblades. This is more like cakeys in the endless sandbox. Embrace the innocence, watch a smile glisten on their face. Picking OPE, fishing, impeccable scenery, ocean to Malca. Listen, it seems strange, somehow ethics diminish, man. We have more family values and time to waste. Childhood laughter, K's master, tackle football in the pasture. Little did we know how much would change. So there I was, east side, solo puffin' Pacololo in a rusty Volvo, wondering what happened to the south side. And Honolulu, all work and no play, pay attention. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. Eternal fighters, freedom riders, mind and lighters. If you feel what I'm saying, put up your lighters. But now we ain't fake, my style you can never break. I'm blind towards your hate, we shine cause we great. Got it now, we ain't fake, my style you can never break. I'm blind towards your hate, we shine cause we great.
All right, y'all, we are back. This is 4BarLoop with Nytelife, and I'm here with SonDaOne. We just went through and listened to this banging track called Garden Island Riders. So, why don't you tell me about how that track came about, if you can recall?
Garden Island Riders really wanted to do a song that represented where I came from, a unique place, and this is a verbal illustration of my island, of the ups and downs of what we go through, whether it's gentrification, through the changing of just development, and I'm just touching on a place where it was a little simpler and easier living, and just the change of what we go through as Native people, and us never giving up as those Native people, and just being warriors and always having that determination and overcoming obstacles. And basically that's just that song in a nutshell and more. It's an uplifting song. It reps my island, and I'm proud of it. Really wanted to say something about where I came from.
That's dope, man. I mean, I think, it's important to just have those staple songs that really, really, really can just tell people about, upbringing, reflection upon what's around you. And I think you did a really good job with kind of bringing people into that. And it's a really well put together song, and I enjoyed it, man. I think that's dope. Along with the rest of the EP too. The rest of the EP is just, I'm just a sucker for lyrics. So, I'm looking for them rewind points. I'm trying to find where the bar is at. Like, oh, okay, I got to catch that scheme. Let me go back and hear that again. And you definitely have some going back and forth in there. You talk about, upbringing, and you talk about, repping as far as where you're from culturally. and I see that a lot of your family roots kind of come out in not only your music, but how you going about your business. So I know that you're represented by UBO Entertainment, and tell me about Unicorn Lyrics.
Unicorn Lyrics is just named after my daughter, because her middle name is Lyric. And Unicorn Lyrics, honestly, I didn't really want to go with the name, man. It's just our publishing, and through our publishing, and because it's my daughter. You know what I mean? It wasn't all me coming up with this with that name particularly, but I just went with it because I was just like, all right, I can't hate on that. It's my daughter, So basically, it's just our publication. And through this publication, I have things in the works like a book that's touching on a Pacific Islander boy who grew up in the Bay Area, dealt with discrimination, came up to Hawaii, had a hard time fitting in with his own people. It's basically a biography about me and just adjusting. And it's a coming of age story of just an individual who's trying to find his roots and maturing and going through these different avenues of life, and making it out of these hard routes of life's decisions that I made when I was younger, and just showing that you can persevere and come out of it, no matter how many times you fall. Through that, I would like to just get into more of like little short films, because there's a lot of movies about Hawaii, but nobody really depicts the true essence of where we come from. And it's a tough place. A lot of people think that it's all coconuts and palm trees, but we still have prostitution out here. There's still people that are on drugs. We still have the poor families, and the dude that used to be cool is walking on the streets homeless now. You know what I mean? We have all that still. So I just want to share that story of Hawaii. And place.
And kind of pivoting off of that, as far as the things that you do to be active in the community, I noticed there were some things that you were doing there as well. What's some of those things to kind of share with everybody?
I would go into my high schools, or the high schools on the island of Kauai, where I'm from, and I go in there and I speak about literature. I speak about poetry. Speak about being an individual, and as well as leader, and just I really just try to give motivational and positive words of encouragement to do whatever you want to do. Really go hard at it. I take those same words and I go into juvenile hall detentions, which kids are like doing some serious time. Juvenile, awesome, and I kind of show them how to write some lyrics and put it to some beats, and kind of give words of encouragement too as well. And I'll take their number and I'll talk to some of these kids whenever they need me, and I'm always there for them. And there's much more that I'm working on too as well. But I like to start off with the keiki, is what we call them, kids, because that's the future. Yeah,
man, and that's big. Starting and giving back to community. It doesn't matter where you are, entertainment wise. It doesn't matter where you are as far as music wise or whatever. To give back to the community is one of the single most important things that we have to do, because you're providing an opportunity for people. You're providing an opportunity for somebody to be inspired by you. One day there's going to be somebody that's going to come out of your island and be like, hey, I remember when SonDaOne came up here and showed me how to put together some bars, and that's why I picked up a mic, and when somebody be interviewing them and asking them questions, and they're gonna bring that up. And when you do work like that, man, it all comes back to you. It all is just it's just a reflection of the type of person that you are, of the type of artist that you are, man. And that's just dope, man. It's just it's just there's not a. You know what I'm saying? There's not an ego. There's not bravado. It's like, well, I'm this and that. It's whatever. It's like you're about what you can do as opposed to what people can do for you.
Absolutely. And I think it's a blessing in my later years that I decided to hit it this hard because it took me some years to drop that ego and really just go inward. Um, and it's important that we're there for the next generation, because a lot of times we even forget as adults the power that we have, and the power that we have to that we're little do we know that even with your show, brother, how much people that are part of your circle that you're inspiring, and they look up to you, and we don't even like, that's, we're pillars of the community. That's our jobs, man. As like, it's a true thing of it takes a village to raise a child, and we got all these little villages everywhere around the United States, and
Yep.
you know, like, that's why it's obsolete of like F whoever's, you know, saying that they controlling the president or whatever. It starts in the community, really, you know.
Yep.
And that's why I don't really go into a lot of political things, because I'm a grassroots kind of dude. It starts with the community. You know, we could change that within, you know, whatever the situation is. It's just on us.
Yeah, I mean, you're connected to that. Anything that you can directly touch is the most important thing that you need to be focusing on anyway. We can't focus on what's going on in, you know, in Washington or whatever. It's like we gotta figure out what's going on around the corner in the hood, you know. And once that focus is there, then you can change that, and then they can help change, and then they can help, and then somebody else can change, and then it's just infectious and just builds, and you know, definitely taking the right route when it comes to that.
That's even with the hip hop community too, man. It's just like, we come from such a competitive art that like we got to start cross promoting the people in our state, because it's crappy when, like, you know, somebody blows up from your state and then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, we always loved y'all, and I'm like, bullshit. Like, you got like, we're freaking love from my own state, and you can't even get love in your own state. And I just took that off of some stuff I heard from the group Little Brother. They were just talking about that. So they're from North Carolina, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I think every single artist that comes from a small area goes through that too as well, you know? So it's important for us to lift each other up as artists, and I'm working on that. You know, I'm working on that. I got a few artists I'm trying to take under my wing right now.
That's good.
And you know, because whether it's they don't have any understanding about how to put an EPK together or release their music right, or, you know, even how to like campaign themselves right. I'm one not to hold knowledge. I like to spread knowledge because I want to see them win, you know, because if you're winning, I'm winning. You know?
Yeah.
So,
see, that's why we get out, man, because I'm in the same boat, because it's like, you know, I don't plan on rhyming in my 60s, but I do plan on being a part of the hip hop community and being able to put people to represent what I believe in. You know,
absolutely.
That's, I mean, are you looking at like, I know you're bringing up in your mentoring, are you like, do you have a label that you're starting and bringing those artists in and kind of cultivate it that way?
I would be more into just guiding people. I don't really want to take the responsibility of being a label. Maybe down the road or something like that, but like financially, I can't do that right now. I'm trying to still launch my own career, but as far as just, I wanted to maybe put together some sort of company that can help mold and mentor and guide and point these artists in the right direction, you know, down to just how to record and whatnot and stuff, though. Like I said, because there's a lot of talent, they just don't know where to start out here, you know. And it could be overwhelming at first for somebody that's new at it. So that's kind of the vision right now. You never know down the road, you know. I'm always open to.
Yeah, man. I mean, you seem to be the beacon for that, man. And I think, you know, you definitely gonna be setting the table for a bunch of young artists that's out there, you know, and you'd be the one to sit down and for them to listen to and help them along the way. Just to kind of get it back to your music before we close it out. The production. Are you responsible for the production? Are you doing the beats too, or are you just
No.
are you just rhyming?
No, I work with a studio out of Southern Humboldt for my first project, the SHC Studios, which is a collective of G Davis and Just One, DJ Just One.
Mhm.
G Davis is just a virtuoso when it comes down to laying down rhythms and whatnot. And then Just One's an individual who a producer too as well, DJ that's coming out of Staten Island, who's worked with many people. They both have been working with a lot of dope artists from reggae to hip hop. So they do all my production. And I'm right now I'm working with several other producers for my upcoming album. I'm gonna drop another album this year.
Okay.
Very. So I'm just super hungry. I just so I'm trying to drop as much content as possible this year. So this is the first time me mentioning it. I was just kind of like brainstorming. So I haven't set a date yet, but it's very soon. It's very soon, and I'm super excited for this next batch of music to come up. But anybody dope, I'm willing to work with. I'm all.
Man.
Yeah. I'm not under any contract to just be working with one person. So that's the beauty of it. Whoever has some dope material as well as some drive, I'm always down to work with.
Yeah, that sounds dope, man. And like I said, I'm looking forward to working with you myself, because you just got the right energy, you got the right vibe, man. And it's like we kind of see things the same way, and your upbringing and how you came up is kind of similar to me too. So I'm like,
absolutely,
I'm into all of that.
Yeah.
So we got this game, man, that I play with every one of my guests. It's called 4-Track Mind. And I don't know if you had seen any of the 4BarLoop interviews. And what it is 4-Track Mind. You said what?
I've watched. I didn't watch the game part. I watched several before I jumped on. I didn't catch the end parts of that, but I've watched the interviews for sure.
Okay. So then, you get to experience it, and then you'll be able to watch it back.
All right.
So 4-Track Mind, basically, man, I just asked you some questions that either or, and kind of give me a why. But most of them is just a selection type of thing, nothing crazy. But most of it is a lot of it's just artist based. So we're gonna go into the first track. If you're gonna build a little EP, you got to start off, of course, with that good intro. You got a chance to rock, and the option is for you to either go a full stadium or a festival. Which one?
Full stadium or a festival? I'll do the festival.
Okay. So getting into track 2, it's Valentine's Day just passed. You want to give the gift of creativity. Are you writing song lyrics for somebody to sing on your behalf, or are you rhyming to her?
I'm rhyming to it 100%. 100%.
You don't want nobody singing your lyrics, singing your lyrics and kind of serenading?
Hell no. Yeah, because it's a Valentine's Day song too, so it's like it's got to be sentimental,
Right.
It's sentimental. It's coming from your heart.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so now we on the third track. So you just signed a contract to come back inland. You coming back. Let's say you come back to Cali. You want to throw your last show. You're throwing out your farewell performance. Are you doing it in Maui or are you doing it in Honolulu?
Neither. I'm doing it in Kauai.
Of course.
I'm doing it in Kauai.
See, I usually make people pick between the two, but I'm gonna give you that because that's home. So I'm gonna give you that.
Yes.
So this one probably won't be as easy.
All right.
So you got a hype joint coming. Just nothing but pure energy. You need to fill a slot with a 16. Are we going with Redman or are we going with Busta Rhymes?
Ooh. Man, I'm a Redman fan. I love Redman. Always. even as an artist, I would pick Redman above Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm a Redman fan too. My producer and my business partner, man, he's Busta Rhymes, so that's our usually where we butt heads at, because I'm Redman, he's Busta Rhymes.
I mean, if you really listen to, and then I'm sure you already know this, I it amazes me how much energy Redman puts behind every single word, and Busta's like that too, you know. But I mean, Redman's a beast, bro. You know.
That dude is so clever, and so clever with his bar work. I mean, for Eminem to be like, man, that's one of my favorite MCs, is like, that ought to tell you everything you need to know. Redman is just above and beyond, head and shoulders better than so many MCs that's out, man.
There's a Dark Side's classic. Sorry.
Oh my God, yes.
That's a classic.
Yes, sir. All right, so we got a bonus track. So here's one that may be easy for you. So your daughter is having a wedding one day down the road. You have the gift of an R&B singer to sing during your father-daughter dance. Who are you putting behind the mic to make you cry? Is it going to be Jill Scott or Erykah Badu?
Ooh. Old Erykah Badu or new Erykah Badu?
You know what? You pick from any era. I don't care.
Okay. I mean, wow. Erykah Badu is scaring me, man. Like, I love her. I love her to death. It would be Jill Scott. It would be Jill Scott because I feel like just at that type of event, I think she has a little more. What is the word I'm looking for? I think she would have a little bit more connection.
Yeah, she got that vibe that'll bring it home, man. She just had that. She just. I think she just know the notes that'll touch you. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Erykah Badu. I could listen to her music all day, for sure.
Dope. All right, man. So tell the people where to find you.
Y'all can find me the easiest way, Linktree, SonDaOne, Linktree. That will take you to all my social media, all my new music, to the YouTube, to the Instagram, to Facebook artist page, to my personal Facebook page. Linktree, SonDaOne at Linktree. Correct? Yeah. SonDaOne at Linktree.
All right.
Takes you to everything.
So, tell your better half I said hello.
I will.
She is at. Hey, let me tell you something, and I'm gonna say it right now. She is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. The work that she's done as far as promotions and how she cares for the people that she's dealing with, taking that personal interest and giving that personal touch, it's just, I can't say enough good things about how, we was treated during our promo run for Tent City. The people that her and I kind of came up with, that we're connected by and stuff. Just man, oh my goodness. She's such a great person, dude.
I appreciate that, brother.
All right, man. She's the one. She's the one.
Absolutely.
You the one, but she the one.
Well, we gotta keep it building, and from the bottom of my heart, brother, I that means so much because we work really hard, and same with your show. It's just, there's so much stuff behind the scenes that gets super stressed out, and it's daunting sometimes. Sometimes just you get frustrated. But shouts out to Eris, and let's just keep building as a collective and keep elevating each other. And that's all we're trying to do, bro. You know what I mean? And it ain't gonna work. It's not just one person behind this. It's all of us. And yes, thank you.
Absolutely. So when you get ready to drop again, man, we'll talk again. When you get ready to roll that book out, we'll talk again. I definitely want to be out in front and helping with the promotion with that, man.
We got some stuff to build on between me and you two as well.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, it's just gonna shine. I know it will. But be on the lookout for a new album dropping. I don't have a date yet, but definitely new videos coming out. So go to my link tree. You can find me all my social media on there. And God bless, and I appreciate you, bro, for having me and allowing me to touch on real topics and whatnot. And God bless, bro. Let's shine and keep building.
Hey, man, bless you too. I really appreciate it. All right, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. Difficult roads often lead to most beautiful destinations. Shoot your shot. Go for the win. You might make it. Peace.
Yes. Aloha. Ohui ho.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yo, let there be bad karma given to all fibbing rap villains. This here I&I plasma scriptures catechism. Deprogramming ill vision, pill popping ism, schism, intuition, pause the thism. Frontin' like you King Tut, conniving sluts, plus peddling children, petty crack fiction. Shit, who you been with? Purse snatching, mighty cone snitches. These the days of worshiping warlocks and witches. Evil principalities casted upon father figures, liquor and meth. Collapses hoping each and every village through mothers lacking touch and feeling. I grew reminiscent when I used to have to ask the player, turn on the television. SonDaOne takes it back like in television. Poetic poltergeist and habits making composition. Writing beyond all margins, the shit I wrote be more potent than Peruvian coke. What?
There can be a better, there can be a better, there can be a better way to live this day today. Cause stress got a grip on me now. I know my family holding it down. I don't know when I will see him, but yo, I'm still believing in visitation, no reason, no. Don't wanna wait till next season. Posted from the highest elevation I've been dreaming of. Golden horizons. Life's a mountain of decisions, so I keep climbing. Sitting in a 747 just rhyming. Recounting my blessings with a message, keep smiling. Keep grinding, searching for salvation. Know that when we blow, they gon' play us on every station. Like there can be a better, there can be a better, there can be a better, there can be a better way to live this day today.
Yo, J. Edgar Hoover, smash star movements, lock up the prophets, microchip the clueless, unsuitable, food for thought congruent, viruses, sex, drugs, rock and roll violence, genocidal holocaust under sea silence, FEMA camps under construction like beehives, cross-pollinate, vaccinate, mind state, think twice, you lifeless, feeling untouchable on the lifeless, Bilderberg plot underground, fiber optics, power looks for weakness, SonDaOne, lyrical eclipse, deprogramming your pompous, mindless, mindless, photosynthesis rhymes, hate-matic paragraphs, prevail through dogmatic arts and crafts, children out the darkness, blast first, ask questions last, those leaders who speak of peace know nothing of the past, don't wanna change the world, just wanna be left alone to seek universal oneness, divine intervention.
Divine intervention.